Hi, my name's Sonia Thompson and I am an Empathy Lab judge. I am also the head teacher and director of St Matthew's Teaching and Research School. I'm going to be introducing you to the ACT part of Empathy Day. As part of that, this is the Empathy exhibition with three amazing authors, Michelle Robinson, Jay Hulme, and Patrice Lawrence. They're going to be sharing some really important information about each other so that they can get to know each other a little bit better. Please note that this is a shortened version of the programme. If you do want to watch the longer version, please look out on the EmpathyLab UK Twitter page to find out more. Just to note that there is some sensitive content in this programme, so we do recommend that it is for Key Stage 3 pupils. Key Stage 2 teachers, if you do want to share the content with your pupils, please watch it first so that you can check if it is suitable. Although the Empathy exhibition is for older children, there is a simplified version of this activity in the family pack, and that you can download that on www.empathylab.uk website. Please enjoy the event. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Michelle Robinson. I'm an author and I'm here with my friends at Empathy Lab. They've invited me for a very special chat today with two other writers, Patrice Lawrence and Jay Hulme. I'm going to introduce you to Patrice and Jay in a minute, but just to let you know what we're here to do and what we're here to talk about, we're going to be having an empathy exhibition. And what that is we're going to share three objects of our own, something that's special to us, three things that we've got that bring up feelings and certain attachments with us. We're going to share them with one another, talk a little bit about them, and the idea is that we get to know things about one another along the way. We're hoping that you might like to have an empathy exhibition of your own afterwards. If you want to find out how, one, you can watch us, see how it's done. We don't know yet. We're making it up as we go along, but it should be fun. But you can go to EmpathyLab UK and download the free family pack to get all the information on there. So let's get going. I can't wait to get to know Patrice and Jay a little bit more with their objects. So I'm a little bit nervous actually about sharing objects with you today because I have picked some quite revealing things that bring up some quite raw feelings. I'm going to go first. I'm going to be brave. So this is my first object. This is my granddad's pipe. And it's amazing. It's sort of a relic from another time and another generation. And the really amazing thing, I keep it on my bookshelf, is if you smell it, I'm straight back in his front room. You can smell the tobacco. I mean, it's disgusting. I don't recommend taking up smoking a pipe. But it takes me back. I didn't know him for that long, really. My family split. He divorced my granny, which when I was growing up was unheard of. My friends were like, your grandparents are getting divorced? What the heck? And it's sort of, even though it takes me back to their house, it takes me back to a lot of quite difficult feelings. My granddad wasn't a very nice, cosy granddad. He was quite a hard, tough man. He had a really hard, tough upbringing. He was a miner from Wales, Merthyr Tydfil, and he used to work down the mines and all this stuff. And it just brings up so many difficult things, like about my past and who I've come from and what they were like, what that means about me and what I want to be like and what I've definitely come from and what I can't ignore and things like it. It's just a really complicated set of feelings. And, you know, I deal in very young children's books where quite often a very cozy world is painted because I'm talking to very, very young children and we don't get into all this complicated stuff. And granddads in books are typically really lovely. And I sometimes feel a bit sad that I didn't have this lovely cozy granddad. I had this scary, terrifying horror granddad. So it's a really complicated thing for me, but it reminds me that you can't make assumptions about anyone or their families. So that's my first object. That's my granddad's pipe. Patrice, what's your first object?
It's a gold bracelet. So my mum is the second youngest of 12, but the only one who came to England. And when I was little, we've got her older sister, who I call Auntie Baby. So nearly everybody in the sort of Caribbean has an uncle or Auntie Baby. So I think Auntie Baby is currently knocking on 90, if probably past it, actually. I've got this kind of weird thing that I suppose, even though being born in England and having a very English accent, I've been told many times I'm not English, but then if you go to the Caribbean, because I'm born in England and have an English accent, I'm not Trinidadian, so you kind of don't belong. So Auntie Baby, from when I was little, used to write me letters and used to send me presents. So quite often in the sort of Caribbean, they have little children's versions of that, but they're silver. So she used to send me silver bangles. And she used to send me like these sort of, I don't know what you call them. My mum used to call them passion killers. So like these sort of bloomers that were like pink or orange that I used to wear under my school uniform, which even though other kids thought I was a bit weird, it wasn't that cold in Haywood Heath, but I still wore them because Auntie Baby came to sent them to me. And then she came to see me. She'd been promising me for 40 years to come and see me. And then came and visited us about 10 years ago when she hit 80. But when I saw in Trinidad once, she said that she'd left this to me in her will. And then she gave it to me. She's like, I'm not going to wait till I die to give it to you guys. You're never going to get it. So for this is my symbol of actually how somebody can bridge that place when you don't feel you belong, when somebody will go out of their way to make you feel part of a family and to... because I still sort of struggle with, that heritage in so many ways, but it's actually Auntie who introduced me saying, you are part of this Lawrence family, you belong here, and here's a gold bracelet.
More power in these circles.
More power to Auntie Baby, definitely.
Auntie Baby sounds amazing. Jay, come on, let's have it.
I've got this, I collect fossils, and this is the first one that I got, and it's a fish.
Wow.
And it's a very good fish if you care about fossils. It's very clear, it's very fishy. You can see his eyeball, you can see his fins. And it's about 400 million years old. So 400 million kind of wins. And I've got some friends who own a shop down south, and I haven't seen them for a while because, there's a plague. And they sell loads of weird things, including fossils. And when I came out as trans, everything got very difficult, and they were there for me all of the time. And I picked this fossil up when I had a surgery, and I was all the way down south in a town I'd never been to, in Plymouth, and I'd never been there before, and I didn't know what I was doing. And they drove over from just outside of London all the way there just to pick me up. And on the way back, they were like, we're passing the place where we buy our fossils from, we'll collect some, then we can make this a business trip and get some of the petrol money back, and I picked out this fish, which cost me a £5 from the fossil wholesaler. It was a £5, and it's just this little fish that I got, and we wrapped it up in bubble wrap, and I sat in the back of this car and I fell asleep because I was still out of it, on all of the painkillers, surrounded, like completely packed in, surrounded by fossils in all of the other inches of the car, and then some dogs and me, and these two people who just went, there is at the time I wasn't a child, but I was still a kid, I was 17, 18, and they just sort of went, yeah, we got you, it's fine, let's feed you up. And, their spare room was Jay's room. And I broke in enough times at night that they gave me a key, and I got a fossil, and I've been, it sits on my mantelpiece, and it reminds me of how much people can be amazing, even beyond, standard ideas of family, particularly, queer people, LGBT people, and other sort of minority groups make their own families out of various different people, and I got a family and I got a fish.
Those were our objects. That was our empathy exhibition. If you'd like to have one yourself, you can share them with us, maybe on social media. Share them with EmpathyLab. Hashtag Empathy Day and tag EmpathyLab UK. That would be brilliant. Thanks for being here, Jay and Patrice. That was really cool.
Welcome.
Thanks everybody for sitting through us and our objects. EmpathyLab have more stuff coming up today for Empathy Day. They've got some events with Kwame Alexander and Eloise Williams, who's Children's Laureate for Wales. I think they're going to be talking specifically with school children in Wales all about using empathy to combat prejudice and loneliness. So just one of the amazing things that empathy can help you do. But it's been lovely meeting you guys. Thank you.